In September 1944, a young British intelligence officer looked at a stack of blurry aerial photos and saw something that should have stopped an entire operation cold. Instead, it got him sent home. 9 days later, thousands of paratroopers were dead, wounded, or captured. How does a warning that clear get buried that fast? The Allies were riding high. Paris was liberated. The Germans were retreating. Victory felt inevitable. Then Bernard Montgomery promised a knockout blow. The plan, Operation Market Garden. Drop 35,000 airborne troops deep into the Netherlands. Seize a chain of bridges. Then send British armour racing up a single narrow highway straight into Germany. Victory by Christmas. It was bold. It was daring. It was dangerously optimistic. In a quiet office in England, Major Brian Urquhart studied reconnaissance photos of Arnhem. The town was supposed to be lightly defended, but Urquhart saw long, dark shapes hidden beneath the trees. Tanks, not just any tanks, elements of the 2 SS Panzer Corps. Battle-hardened veterans refitting exactly where British paratroopers were scheduled to land. Dutch resistance reports confirmed it. 2 SS Panzer divisions were there. Urquhart did his job. He raised the alarm. Drop zones had to change. The attack had to be delayed. You cannot drop lightly armed airborne troops on top of armored divisions. The response? He was labeled overworked, suffering from nervous strain. He was sent on medical leave just days before the jump. Imagine being punished not for being wrong, but for being right too early. The drop, September 17th, 1944. On September 17th, the sky over the Netherlands filled with aircraft and parachutes. Dutch civilians cheered. It looked like liberation. But on the ground, SS units were already moving. 1 battalion reached Arnhem Bridge. The rest of the British 1st Airborne Division was pinned down in Oosterbeek, fighting tanks with Piat launchers and courage. Meanwhile, XXX Corps advanced up that single exposed road, later called Hell's Highway. 1 blown bridge, 1 ambush, 1 traffic jam. The timetable collapsed. After 9 days of brutal fighting, Operation Market Garden failed. Around 8,000 British airborne troops were killed, wounded, or captured. Arnhem was lost. The war dragged on, and the Dutch endured the devastating hunger winter of 1944-45. Montgomery later described the operation as 90% successful. Tell that to the men who never came home. This wasn't just a bridge too far. It was a warning about what happens when leaders fall in love with their own plans. When momentum blinds judgment. When the real problem isn't the intelligence. It's the man brave enough to speak. History doesn't just turn on battles. Sometimes it turns on whether someone listens.